to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Okay, so there is a question, how to amplify the upsurging feminine energy as a part of the unity conscious movement.
Should anyone start or?
Please start. You are the
Yeah.
best. You're the best.
So this is really feeling like a love fest to me right here. I feel I'm surrounded by people I love the most, and then there are people who are also watching and whom I really love. So there is a surge in empowerment and in femininity right here.
Yeah.
That I am feeling. Um. So the the one thing is that we have talked a lot about women empowerment, and we've talked about feminine empowerment. We have talked about the union of the masculine and feminine. And if we look at again deeper, what are the roles played by the masculine and feminine? And the masculine, his work is to constantly go into the unknown. He is constantly, men are the one who want to leave the world and go for sannyas, go to the Himalayas, because they want to go to the unknown. The woman is like, okay, this is my home, I will make it more and more beautiful. Her movement is inside into the known. And the masculine, he is always channeling what is the vision. What is the vision? What is the consciousness? Where is it going? And the women has the power of manifesting. And she is like, okay, the feminine is like, this is the vision, I can bring it. I can bring it to life. That is what she does with the sperm. That is what she does with any kind of vision. She makes it come alive. She manifests it. It comes to life. And what to that consciousness? Other thing that I have recently realized is that if you're a female, ask yourself, how good are you with taking criticism? Okay? Let criticism be your evolutionary tool. Ask yourself, when you are criticized, are you defending yourself immediately? Are you blaming it on someone else? Are you blaming it on the system or on the other people? Are you taking responsibility of it? What is your reaction to criticism is going to define how empowered you are. And if you can take criticism and you can make that a part of you, you can back and you can evolve, then you are leading, you will lead the upsurge, and when you will find a more capable person, you will unite with that, and you both will grow even more than what you were before. So I feel that these two things are what is needed to keep the surge going higher and higher.
Nice, wonderful. Kavita, would you like to add?
Yeah, I just want to add a very small sentence here is unity consciousness is already there. Before beginning, from the last 3-4 hours, I even wrote to Shivu, I wrote to Uganda sir as well on WhatsApp. I have met Grandma Parisha only once last year, sir, during the event of W. But I felt such a strong presence of her around me. I felt such a strong presence, sir, because there is huge turbulence happening in my life right now, which I really cannot explain over here. I was very vulnerable since morning. I've been writing. I don't know what I'm going to talk. I just surrendered this to the universe. I said, what is it? Please lead me through the path today. I can share so that moment, Grandmother Parisha's energies were with me. So what more can I say? When like-minded people, when the people carrying the same energies and belief system come together, the unity consciousness is definitely going to raise. And I bow down to Uganda sir for creating this movement and bringing all of us together. Thank you, sir.
Shivo, please give your treasure to us.
Yes, so the unity consciousness is can be experienced at many levels, and probably right now what we can it, it is appropriate to understand the unity consciousness between man and woman. When we are talking of unity, one of the biggest conflict in the world today you find is between these two genders. And I've had a lot of discussions with lots of people, uh, conducted a lot of workshops, a lot of intimate one-on-one conversation. I have realized, I have seen biggest of the feminists talking to me and all female empowerment and men are like this and the only job was survival and they have crushed us, everything. I have seen so many of them talking to me in that language, and at that time I felt, oh my god, what's happening? I mean, this is definitely no good for the world and no good for the spirituality. And I just tell them just one thing, and I tell you, always a transformation happens. Always. I have discussed with so many women, just knowing what is cosmic masculine and what is cosmic feminine. The moment you know it, all the conflict will immediately drop. Immediately. There has been a lot of talk about cosmic feminine, but not many people have talked about cosmic masculine. And one more, crisis, if you see in the world, which exists today, men have suddenly started to wander. If you see in so many areas, most of the areas, men have underperformed. If you see in education, in jobs, the man has suddenly started to underperform in past 50 years or so. In US, I was seeing one data where among PhD students, 61% are women. And suddenly, if I see in the homes, fathers, they are very confounded. They don't know what is their role. Earlier, they had defined their role as that women are the homemaker and the father is the breadwinner. Now, woman is also the breadwinner. So now they are confused. They feel like redundant, like they almost have no role to play, actually. I mean, even if remove the father, there is no problem, right? So it is really wonderful that with all the feminist movement, there have been female empowerment. But there has been a lot of disempowerment of the masculine in past some time. And there has been it was unfortunate that women were suppressed, and there is so much in their subconscious that exists in the collective field of feminine. Yet this conflict which has come up is not really the way. And the way to resolve this conflict between masculine and feminine is very, very simple. Just know their roles. What is the role of see, when I tell what is the role of cosmic masculine, I can promise you all the feminists, they suddenly have a different view of man. And I just tell them just one thing. I tell them the role of man. They normally think that the role of man is to survive, to fight, to go into the war, to make sure their family survive, and they get, as hunters, they would go in jungle and bring the game and all that. They think that's the role. I said, no, that is the lowest of the role of the masculine. As you keep going up the chain of chakras, what is the role of man? Role of man is to bring unknown into known. And that's what expands. And what is the role of woman? Role of woman is to get the best, to create out of known. Woman is a great creator among whatever is known. But then what is the role of man? Role of man is to expand what is known. That is why men are not very good organizers. I can promise you, woman will be a better CEO than a man. Anywhere you put a man as a manager, woman as a manager, woman will definitely do better. But if you see who will be the inventor, who will be the creator, because in the moment you enter that zone of creation, the unknown comes. So the role of man is to bring unknown into known, and role of woman is to create out of what is known. The moment this clarity comes, and you can see it all over your life. I mean, it needs a lot of discussion further to understand what exactly is bringing unknown into known and to create out of known. But you can just look around. The moment this clarity comes, I can promise you there is no disharmony, there is no conflict. And that's what we experience in Quanto Life also. You will find Quanto Life as one of the most harmonized places where man, woman, all masculine, feminine, they so happily, so lovingly coexist. Just because we have an understanding that what is the role of masculine, what is the role of feminine. And of course, masculine and feminine both are a part of the man as well as woman. But men are likely to be more masculine and women are likely to be more feminine. And there's one more incident I remember which is very pertinent for me to share here. So once one of our Quanto, Sandhya, had asked me that does it mean when you say masculine feminine integration, does it mean 50% masculine, 50% feminine? I said no. Integration means 100% masculine, 100% feminine. So when the masculine feminine is integrated, both the man and woman, they would be 100% masculine, 100% feminine. There's no conflict. They are not taking space of each other. The moment they interact, the moment they merge, the whole space expands. Thank you very much.
Shivu, I was actually going to mention that just before you started saying, but that was a statement that really changed even my life. I was there when this discussion on Ardhanarishwar was happening, and Shivu said that the journey, that the integration is that we all masculine and 100% feminine. Because one of the had was that I enjoy being a feminine. I enjoy everything what a feminine represents. I really love that about myself, and I have, because as I was taking on some of the more masculine roles, I was very worried that I'm going to become less feminine. So this self-sabotaging myself. So this was a fear that I'm going to become less feminine. I'm going to become less of who I was. And that fear, and then Shiva said, no, you're not becoming less. You're more. You're going to add that dimension. Nothing is going to be it. And that's when I could allow myself the freedom to explore, everything without this fear. So thank you for that, Shiva.
Thank you, Mansi. Here I would like to ask one question. Like Dr. Amrita has left, as she said, the hormones change and PCOS and what are the issues related to the autoimmune diseases. So now when we start acting as men, so more of masculine energy increases. Is that so?
So see, when you're talking about hormonal, she was talking a lot about the autoimmune disease, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like for example, let's say if you have something like Hashimoto, those autoimmune thyroid diseases, then it does come hormones, right? So even in that, so I actually have been diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, and they are again of a level where endocrinologist told me that she has not seen, the highest she has seen is less than 3 times what I have. Okay. So they were so scared for the past 2 years. My antibodies have been like in 3000s. The highest numbers that of antibodies they have seen is 900. I'm going at 3000 and above. So they were like, you're going to get a thyroid disease right now. We have to keep monitoring. So for the past 3 years, they have been monitoring every months, and my thyroid levels are perfect. And they are waiting. They are like they are trying to discover. And again, the reason comes to the energy. We really, I had to look what was my pattern. What was my pattern? And yeah, and even before this started, I had this. I was shown in a mirror that my pattern was that I was critic. I was my worst judge, and even Shiva said that it was my low self-esteem. So thyroid is very connected to your voice. It is connected to your self-esteem. And if I have low self-esteem, not just from this life, but from the many lives as a female, then all these, many of us have come to dissolve a lot of these things in this life. This is a very special time. So a lot of people who are listening here have come to resolve things that they have been carrying on for lifetimes. So the thing is, as I keep observing, as guided by Shivo and with our synthesis process, as I keep observing that, for the past 3-4 years, we are observing that, my thyroid levels are perfect. So even though I have those numbers, my system is in observation. It is continuously taking care of itself. And I feel that is what we need to do in this autoimmune. At a cellular level, what has happened is that the cell has lost its awareness and it is attacking itself. It is no longer recognizing the enemy, but it is attacking itself. And I think that what we need to do is to bring cellular awareness. So this is an example of Shakti gone chaotic, because it is attacking itself. So it needs Shiva, it needs awareness. And I feel that when you can get that cellular awareness is when you can solve a lot of these feminine, diseases. I feel that bringing in the awareness, and when this chaotic Shakti meets Shiva, meets awareness, that's when that gets harmonized. And that's when you can have amazing health.
Thank you, Mansi. Dr. Yugandhar, I have a question for you, sir. When a female starts acting or behaving like a man, so do you feel the feminine energy reduces and the masculine energy increases or something like that?
Yeah. So at the outset, I would like to first congratulate all the beautiful speakers here, Mansi ji, Kavita ji, Amrita ji, and others who joined here. Thank you very much. When it comes to your question, imitation of the opposite doesn't make one become that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that is how many people are understanding practically. Because they are unable to transform themselves within, they are trying to display the same without. That is happening mostly with women and very less with men. Though the gender equations appear to be dualistic and pluralistic in nature, every human being for me is a hermaphrodite, spiritually speaking, because it's a combination of both, where this dualism and pluralism cease to exist. The consciousness is genderless. But the duality that is existing in the form of gender is a pathway to find one's own collectiveness. The gender is a way to find and discover one's own completedness. We start with a dual perspective, end up with united perspective. That is what is important from a spiritual dimension. The very concept of male and female, the marriage, all these things are existing so that Learning happens mutually. Every man should come from his woman how much emotionally deficient he is. Men suffer from heart attacks, right? Mostly. Most of the men, compared to women, men do suffer from a lot of heart attacks. There is a joke in medical circles: women do not suffer from heart attacks, but become cause of them.
Dr.
Pun intended.
Yugandhar,
Pun intended.
is your wife watching?
So we have answers for that.
Medical joke, I'm saying. That's why. So it's only a joke, but the reality also, if you see the cardiology wards, majority of the people who die because of MI, myocardial infarction, otherwise called a heart attack, are men, because they're emotionally weak. That's the point here. At the same time, every woman should learn from the man how much intellectually deficient she is. That means head has to learn from the heart has to learn from the head. While the man represents the head, the woman represents the heart. Head alone is never total. The mindfulness alone is never total. Similarly, the heartfulness also never is total, as is understood. When many people say that from the bottom of my heart, there is nothing like bottom of my kidney, bottom of my spleen. Heart is only a tissue, right? 150-gram tissue. So brain is maybe a 1,000-gram tissue. It is not the size of the organ that matters here. The point here is heartfulness that we are taking, as superior to so-called mindfulness is equally wrong for me. Because the head has to marry the heart. The head has to work with the heart. Head has to become heart and vice versa. When head meets the heart, then something emerges in third dimension that is called as soul. Mindfulness, working with heartfulness, turns into soulfulness for me. That is what is important. That is the meaning of marriage. When man and woman live together, they combinedly generate the soulfulness. All our activities should be soulful, neither heartful nor mindful. Because both are divisive in nature, like male and female, they're also divisive. One's own masculine and feminine qualities will be blending with each other for greater good. Only one can understand the nature of this meeting, the union of this meeting, called as mindfulness plus heartfulness. An awakened one is he who is an embodiment of these two elements. He is soulful. Biologically, he has a gender, but spiritually, he has awakened. He is beyond this head and heart. He is a combination of both in equal proportions, required proportions. So this is what I understood. This is what I would like to convey for the time being. Thank you.
I would like to say something here, if I may have a minute. Renuka ji and Yugandhar.
Yes.
Because sir rightly said, men, as sir rightly said, men have a lot of MI. Like Mansi was talking about thyroids. I feel even science has gone, till now the memory was always about hypothalamus and amygdala. But now the science has even reached epigenetics, wherein every cell is having a memory of its own. So this emotional conditioning that is happening right from childhood is the major reason for all these chronic diseases. But I would like to say here, sir, again, pun intended, it is again this conditioning that says मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता है, इसके वजह से उनको heart attack होता है. Because they have been brought up like that. The kids are being told, does the boy cry? You shouldn't cry. But women are known to yell, howl, and cry, express their emotions. That is the reason they don't have that heart issues. But they have the thyroid issues because they are more suppressed. There's a lot of women that are suppressed. So that is the reason, emotional awareness would be the key for most of the answers in the world, is what I feel, which starts from every human being, right from the child, from the thought process even before conception. I hope I am okay saying that pun intended jokes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes. So, Mansi, would you like to say something? मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, and any other?
I agree. I feel that, see, whatever, just like cell has a memory, we also have a memory. Whatever conditionings we carry, we pass on. That is even seen in the toys we buy. You know, like in US, if the room is decorated pink, you know, it is a woman, it is a girl's room. If it is blue, it is a boy's room. And pink, and this is so cultural. Pink did not used to be a woman's color,
Yeah.
but we have so conditioned it. And I think that to really empower women to bring about this union, we have to go beyond conditionings. We do not ask, in this conditionings we lose authenticity. What do you really like? That is empowering. You wear what you like, not because the society has dictated pink makes a woman look more beautiful, or pink makes a person, you know. And so I think we have to really look into all these things. And I feel that these are, you know, I remember, Dr. Yugandhar, you asked this question, which was, I felt, a very beautiful question in the previous session. If it is okay, can I just, because I think you had a very beautiful point. Because you were like, you know, we are coming here, how are we really creating unity consciousness? Because we are all coming and we are giving our thing. How is it really creating a unity consciousness? And here again, I would like to mention that when I was a moderator in the Australian, you know, GTF, I did not know much about Australia, but just in listening to the speakers, and I could feel that everyone, even in this talking, we may be talking, but things are happening to us on a vibrational level. Vibrationally, we are coming to closer. And when we are vibrationally coming closer, everyone who's connected to us, they are also coming closer. And I feel that in this way, Dr. Yugandhar, you and the World Unite, you all are bringing in this unity consciousness. To people, it might feel we are just talking, we are discussing things. You can find all these topics on the internet, probably with better illustrations, with better speakers, but the work is happening at a much deeper level. I feel that the vibrations are uniting, they are coming together, and I think the vibration of the, hopefully, of the world is rising.
Absolutely.
Applaud you, salute you for this, Dr. Yugandhar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, shall we conclude our sessions, sir?
So if you have any inputs from anyone, we'll continue. Otherwise, it's over. Time is over.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wonderful. Happy to see all of you. We'll continue the journey together. So much.
And Dr. Yugandhar, you may want to, I think there is a lot of demand for having a panel on male empowerment now, because men are feeling.
Yeah, the time may come when spirituality, male empowerment will replace spirituality, women empowerment. Women are more empowered nowadays.
So we should have a topic next time. The next GTF, we should have male empowerment.
For male empowerment, and we should have the speakers talk to each other also, like, you know.
We create something called as gender empowerment. We are bored of this women empowerment.
All these empowerment talk should be gender neutral. That means
Yeah.
should also speak on women empowerment and women on
Actually, you know, when during the last year WPS, one person came forward as a speaker. He was talking about something called as male toxicity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is big.
So there was a speaker he was the only one who selected that topic. But interestingly, okay, sure, we will maybe next year we are going to have a series of events called as We Are One Summits. Like this year we have got global transformation festivals in many countries already, and as per the idea and plan, it will be completing all the 200 countries by the end of 2022. We will not leave any single country, even a very small country also we are not going to do. And in fact, all the 200 countries, we have speakers. We have chat groups everywhere. So much of activities going on, and everywhere people are coming forward on their own. They're stepping forward to come and taking up all these initiatives. It's not me who's actually doing. Because it is India, because I'm living here, I'm trying to be as much as I would like to come front and share my ideas. In other events, I never was a speaker. I was never a speaker in any event. So only here I am going to proudly present myself as a speaker, as a GTF speaker for India chapter. I will be very happy to present even. And for other countries, I will not be speaker. I never spoke on any GTF. But only inaugural address, few minutes about the aim and vision I used to present commonly. But your inputs are respected. Gender empowerment is very important because by way of calling women empowerment continuously, we are giving a feedback that women needs more empowerment.
Right.
So
Yes.
it's not required. It's not required to specially call as women empowerment. Men also definitely need. Actually, men need more because it is the feminine energy which is lacking in the present world. Feminine energy in the sense the caring, sharing, the sensitive aspects of empathizing, sympathizing, compassionate, kindness, all this type of yielding, this type of qualities which we call as feminine qualities, they need real upsurgence in the world. So definitely we call male empowerment by way of adding feminine qualities to them.
A very small my side, we can call this as masculine feminine unity.
Yeah,
We can have that as topic.
yeah, masculine, feminine, yeah. We will work out them. Yeah,
We are talking about the unity consciousness, so
yeah,
the gender is very necessary.
yeah. We'll work out. We'll put a perfect caption for this for sure. We'll definitely come out with a great concept, no doubt. So next year we are going to have the VR1 summits for those countries which have. This is a message which I am giving for the viewers or listeners. Next year for India and all those countries which have completed GTFs, around 40-50 countries whatsoever, we will be continuing the movement as VR1 summits state-wise. So in India we have got 28 states and around 9 union territories, and each state and union territory we need someone to take leadership for that state. And whatever contracts that you have or whatever inputs that you would like to give, whatever energy that you would like to bring in each state, whatever that you can contribute, always welcome. So please involve very much. This is not the world of individualizations anymore. This is not going to be the world of any self-aggrandizements. No USPs here. We need to lose more than gain. We need to lose some identity than involving ourselves in self-glamorizations and sensationalizing ourselves. So these outdated trends. Everybody in the Western world, they learn for 4 weeks some workshop and put it as the Delta trainer, Omicron trainer. So many types of trends and therapies are coming. More number of therapies than number of diseases. So many types of trends and models are coming up. So this is all okay, fine, okay, but everything will be culminating finally into unity. That is very, very important. The trend of unity has to emerge. And for unity, there is no competition. When uniformity has got a lot of competition, because every time people are creating a lot of models, uniformity has a lot of competition, but unity never can have competition. And there's no copy for it, no copy for unity, because it is one already. For one, there is no competition, because it's no more dual, it's no more plural. It has already become one. It has lost its identity. Everything is same. The equalization and equations nullify all these self-aggrandizements, and we are moving in this direction. We are gathering the energy in this direction, and the whole world is responding. That is a big surprise for me. It is really a surprise for me, because I never imagined that the movement will be so strong this year. So strong. Everywhere it is picking up. Unconditionally, people are coming forward. There are no hidden agendas here, no ulterior motives here. Very clear. Only one aim, one purpose, one objective, one goal. That is bringing unconditional unity consciousness. That's all. How it happens with greatest levels of procedural diversity, it's happening, and we are moving like, I'm calling this word as a head-on elephantine approach. Elephant, just go, that's all. Rumble. That's what is happening.
So,
Thank you.
Dr. Yugandhar, thanks and
Yeah,
many
Shivaji.
congratulations and thanks for creating this movement. And from my side, as a humble offering, I can say that we all are with you in Quanto Life. Wherever, whatever contribution we can make, we are with you.
Yeah.
So, posted about your state-wise plan.
Yeah.
We may have somebody take up that kind of leadership in some state.
Yeah, please take up. Yeah, because everybody has a choice, wide choice to take up everywhere. As told, every type of person, every energy is extremely important, extremely respectable. Please take up any state or states, whatever.
Yeah,
One
so
easy
we do-
state, one challenging state. I want you to select one state in Northeast, in challenging state, where we have less contacts, like Nagaland, Meghalaya, one state, and one easy approachable state like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. One easy, one difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Think about it. See, the point is
Yeah.
we should have a presence there.
Yeah, we'll find out. That's what we need to.
If I have at least 3 active members, Quantum members in some state, then I can endeavor for that.
Yeah.
I need at least 3
Yeah.
active Quantum members.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me think about it.
Yeah. But what is difficult, even for GTF India, we don't have representation from northeastern states, the small sister 7 states, the small Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh. We don't have representation here even today. When we were contemplating last year about WPS, I was really worried about South America because many people do not know English, and I don't know Portuguese or Spanish. Now all the 14 countries of South America have got very strong unity presence now, very strong. So what appears to be difficult, because we work more, we create a breakthrough always. What appears is difficult becomes the first one to become very strong. I have conviction for this. So northeastern states and union territories, none of the union territories have representation by GTF here. David Aman.
We have people, right, Shibu? We have Poonam in Andaman, right?
Oh, great.
Yeah, Andaman.
She's a professor there, and she also does talk shows and everything.
Excellent.
And she's a geographer. She's a geography professor, and
Why don't you invite her as a speaker?
Well, the topics, but yeah, do you still have space? I will call her.
Yeah, we always welcome at any given
Environment. On environment.
Yeah, on environment. Do you have the one on environment, spirituality and environment?
Please tell her to sign up immediately.
Okay, I will do so.
Sign up immediately.
I will do so.
Tomorrow is the environment session. Let her have her slot.
Yeah. Anyone
so
else?
She will also understand hands-on, right? Andaman, yeah, Andaman should have a lot of Bengalis.
She is a Bengal. Yeah, she is.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Marwadi was living in Calcutta.
Yeah, but she's a cultural Bengali. She's not a...
Okay, all right.
And we also have someone from Jammu in case,
Yeah, Jammu Kashmir also. Jammu, Ladakh, because it's separated now, union territories, is no more a state. So we need definitely from Jammu and Ladakh areas. And most importantly, we need a lot of Muslim speakers who are enlightened. This is a very important aspect because 25% of the world population has these people.
Yes.
We need strong people who come forward in unity consciousness. Very important. Shamiji, any inputs from you? You are there? Shami Jabra, I like this person very much. When you go to Ujjain, I want everyone to meet him.
I've heard of Shamiji a lot, and I was from Atin and Sakha. Pranam Shamiji. I was thinking that are you the same Shamiji? Pranam.
Once you visit Mahakal in Ujjain, next visit should be his place. Wonderful person. Anyway, thank you very much. And yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow, 4 p.m. All the viewers across the world who is watching this Global Transformation Festival India chapter, we are going to meet on day 3 tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. on all the 3 tracks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Renikoji. Thank you, all the speakers here.
Thank you, sir.